Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars franchise seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about their new Star Wars TV shows and the new movies currently in the mix. That's really going to deliver a lot of Star Wars legends to return by John and Dave. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing that a lot of fans are looking forward to the most when it comes to the Disney Plus TV shows is, of course, everything related to Star Wars Ahsoka, Star Wars Kenobi, Andor, and of course, Mando Season 3 and 4. Those are the shows that have a lot of momentum right now as far as expectations go, as far as the level of excitement from the Star Wars fandom. I will say that the Acolyte TV series does not seem to be on the radar, does not seem to be on the mind of the Star Wars fans, because that's directly a Kathleen Kennedy-oriented show, and as well as Leslie Headland. Let's not forget about that. However, what's really exciting all has to do with actor Mark Hamill. Now, we do know that Mark Hamill's last, introduction in an actual movie was the rise of Skywalker as the Force ghost of Luke, and of course in the form of a flashback on the world of Andor. Now, when we go ahead and examine everything related to Disney Star Wars, they really are trying to do everything that they can to regain many of the lost fans that really left from the sequel trilogy, the fans that had a lot of issues with episodes 7 through 9, Ever since The Rise of Skywalker released back in late 2019, they've seen a dramatic decline in Star Wars fans' interest in the future of Star Wars. Now, come, of course, 2020, when 2020 came and the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 arrived, is when Star Wars fans began to have a little bit more hope about the future of the franchise. It wasn't until Gina Carano got fired that they lost some hope about that. So now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new universe, both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are actively developing shows like The Mandalorian and even the Ahsoka series starring Rosario Dawson. However, it's noted that behind the scenes, actor Mark Hamill has created a big impact on the Star Wars universe and exactly where it's going. It's described that Mark Hamill was the one who convinced Jon Favreau to use Mara Jade as a character in the future Mandalorian seasons, and even future shows impressed him to do so when Jon met Mark for Mando Season 2's finale, when it was in development, when Mark Hamill was overlooking of how Luke would be used in the final episode. Now, Mark Hamill is described to also have been the one to have convinced Jon Favreau to bring up many pitches to the Disney higher-ups months ago to create a young Luke Skywalker TV series currently dubbed simply as Star Wars Jedi Knight. It's further noted that Mark Hamill also gave Jon Favreau the go-ahead to use actor Sebastian Stan as a live-action version of a young Luke for future Mandalorian seasons on Disney Plus, and that Sebastian Stan is set to do some costume tests in early 2022 for The Mandalorian Season 3. However, it's described that Disney also has an eye on other actors to portray a younger version of Luke Skywalker if for some reason Stan does not work out in the costume testing. Many of the Star Wars Legends stories of Luke Skywalker are said to be transferred over to the Disney canon, all because Mark Hamill further is informing Jon Favreau on the nature of how it should all be done in its own fashion. Mark Hamill is described to also have a small role as Luke in The Mandalorian Season 3 by use of de-aging technology. However, Hamill wants to stay away from Star Wars at least for a while. So, this is a very interesting development. The thing that really does get me the most out of all of this is that Disney has an eye on other actors to actually portray a younger version of Luke Skywalker, in case Sebastian Stan does not perform well in those costume tests. I have no doubt in my mind that Sebastian Stan's going to do a fantastic job on the costume tests, because if you look at Stan, he's got that facial structure of a young Hamill. He's got that overall look. He can pull it off. But I'm sure, obviously, that Disney wanted backups just in case, and that's exactly why they have backups. Backup plans, if you will, of other actors. More unknown actors to be more, targeted on. So when we go ahead and look at everything related to Jon Favreau, though, the fact that Mark Hamill played a big role in really allowing Jon Favreau to make some key decisions. The fact that Mark Hamill really played a massive role in allowing Jon Favreau to make many of these key decisions really just goes to show you that Mark Hamill does care about the Star Wars fandom. I know some of you guys out there may find that hard to believe because of how Mark Hamill has really backtracked on many of his statements that he made about The Last Jedi and director Rian Johnson. Keep in mind, though, that Disney got to him and made him retract those statements. That's why he was a flip-flopper when it really came to his overall perception and his opinion on Star Wars by Disney and the overall sequel trilogy, specifically The Last Jedi. We've seen him gone back and forth time and time again on his statements. So the fact that he played a big impact on Jon Favreau making these decisions of including Mara Jade into future Mandalorian seasons, as well as incorporating many of Luke Skywalker's Star Wars Legends stories into the mix for future Mandalorian shows, as well as a young Luke Skywalker TV series dubbed simply as Star Wars Jedi Knight, that really does, inspire a lot of fans out there. The fact that an actor was able to convince a specific producer/writer of Star Wars to allow things to happen the way that they should, and Jon Favreau agreed and really brought this up to the higher-ups over at Disney to make it happen. Again, this fall, a lot of announcements coming our way. It's going to be a very big time in the November to early December timeframe of this year. That's when we're going to get more TV show announcements, new movie announcements, books, novels, comics, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be a very, very big moment in time. And even at Star Wars Celebration of 22, that's when more announcements are even going to make our way. Keep in mind that yes, a lot of TV shows are coming out. A lot of them are only limited TV shows, kind of like Kenobi and kind of like others out there that are being developed. Just limited TV shows, so they got to keep on making these TV shows. They're not all going to have multiple seasons like The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian so far is being used as a foundation. Think of it as, a foundation that branches off to other TV shows where it's attached to that foundation. It's a very interesting, way about going, with the Star Wars universe and how they're developing the roadmap, from this point on forward. Now, the other thing that I think is very impressive is the fact that they are going to be incorporating this very interesting timeline, a post-return of the Jedi era, in multiple TV shows. We're not just talking about the reformed Rangers of the New Republic, we're also talking about future Mandalorian seasons and the young Luke Skywalker TV series, and even other TV shows out there that's going to deal with all of that. So obviously, Disney wants to make sure that they can really convince the fans to come back and really just enjoy everything when it comes to the overall Star Wars universe. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.